You want to talk about that Dodge Ram that you got?
Yeah, I mean, we can. We want to talk about it.
So, like, what's the worst part about owning a 90s Dodge Ram?
Owning a 90s Dodge Ram.
that is the hardest part, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just 90s Chrysler.
Yeah.
So.
What does that mean to be a 90s Chrysler?
It's going to have electrical problems.
Electrical problems?
Yeah, electrical problems, engine problems, component problems.
Yeah.
Just everything.
It still has a random where it just like cuts off, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't really know why, but like even when it gets up to temperature, it'll just die if you try to throttle it.
Yeah, it just has this hard stumble on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the carburetor's bad,
But it's fuel injected.
But it's fuel injected.
Yeah. So, I mean, some injectors could be clogged.
They could be.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. I mean, it is a little bit older vehicle, but
They paved this road.
yep, they paved the road. Hey guys, we've been kind of holding off on doing a second restoration on the Dodge Ram because the first restoration cost this guy like almost $10,000.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the neighborhood. It's some kind of special edition, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a 1996 Ram Indianapolis 500 edition.
Yeah.
There was only like 2,000 to 3,000 of them made. I can't remember the specific number, but it was just an appearance package and a slight like engine modification. I think it was more like the airbox or something like that. It freed up like 15 horsepower.
Maybe exhaust.
Yeah, I think it was exhaust. I think it had like a custom MagnaFlow or something like that directly from the factory.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's a cool truck. But
It was lowered when we got it, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Whenever you got it?
yeah, it's lowered like 3 inches.
Yeah, she slammed pretty good.
Yep.
Hauling off garbage. But you've kind of become the resident Chrysler guy in the family.
I know it. I used to make fun of Chrysler so much. I mean, I still do.
Yeah, Chrysler's still kind of trash the newer stuff, but
Yeah.
you kind of
just
taking
can't-
on the Chrysler.
I can't get away from it for some reason.
Sometimes the brand chooses you. You don't
Yeah, I
choose
know
the
that.
brand.
I'd say the next sports car I'm going to have to get like a Charger Challenger or something like that. But
Hey, I saw a video today where a guy was driving the Dodge Challenger shaker hood. It was a 2023 as a special edition called the I want to say it was a Scamp.
Scamp?
Yeah, you know how they had the old Scamp?
Oh yeah, like
It's like a package. Like I guess how they kind of
the
had.
Valiant was the Scamp.
No, it was a. It might have been a Valiant. I don't
It was
know.
the Valiant.
It might have been a Dart. No, it was a
No,
Plymouth
it was a
Scamp. Plymouth Scamp. I think.
Yeah, let me look that up. I'm
Yep.
curious because I could have swore it was like a Valiant. It's in that same like ape body.
Mhm. Yeah, it was pretty though. It was a new Dodge Challenger. It was one of the YouTubers that is talking about the new Dodge Demon 170, which apparently is selling for like, it's like the last hurrah before the full electrification of the Challenger and the Charger and all that stuff. So you know, the last hurrah for the gas V8, and it's like a full-on factory drag car. They're calling it the 170.
Oh, the Demon 170.
Yeah, the Demon 170.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about that from his Challenger Scamp package. I think it was a Scamp package.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was totally cool.
Yeah, the Scamp was pretty much a Dart.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much a Dart. Hold it up and let the people see.
It's pretty much a Duster and a Dart.
Duster and a Dart.
Yeah. It's got like the same frame as a Dart, it looks like, but the front clip of a Duster.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
I actually like that a lot.
Yep, me too.
I didn't know that was.
What about the new one?
Oh, the new one?
Yeah. your
I don't see it.
you don't see it? I'll try to find it and see if I can drop a picture in the chat. But yeah, that new Dodge Demon 170 is apparently blowing up engines or something like that. And I watched a couple Uncle Tony's videos, and I think he's just about got it figured out. Apparently, there is a front oil sump to these engines, or to these cars. And when they're launching, when they're launching trans brakes real hard, with the trans brake real hard, plus all the horsepower, forward momentum, it's it's pulling all the oil out of the sump, pushing it towards the back of the engine.
I gotcha.
And it just, it's not long, just a couple fractions of a second, and it like
enough to lock it up.
Just enough to damage the bottom end. Yeah.
I see.
And so,
typical Dodge things.
Yeah, it's just Dodge things. But apparently, these things are costing a couple $100,000.
Yeah, kind of expensive.
Yeah, and dealers are selling them like they're going to be a collector's item. And this fella that I was listening to, and again, I can't remember his name. And I've heard Uncle Tony say this too. They are not going to really be the collector's car that people think that they're going to be.
I don't think that they're not going to be a collector's car.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's going to be a boutique car that's just so outside of the realm of possibility for anybody.
Yeah. Even
like
20, 30 years from now.
I mean, it came out at $100,000. You can only imagine what it's going to be like. It's either going to stay at that, or it's just going to go
in the
up.
tank. Yep.
Yeah.
Or they might just evaporate off the planet. Like, you won't be able to find one.
That's what I think is going to happen.
But Uncle Tony made a point that, Stellantis, who owns Chrysler, is like not doing parts anymore or something like that for cars after like 10 years or something like that. And so if that's true, and it's going to be hard to find parts for regular Challengers and Chargers and Rams, what's it going to be like for this specialty car in 20, 25 years?
Right.
30 years, 40 years. It's going to be almost impossible to keep them on the road.
And to play advocate on that, that's just going to raise the value on the vehicles.
Yeah, for good running examples. Yeah, it very well could. I mean, it could end up being like the most collectible car of all time. I don't know.
It really could. I mean, could just be this generation's CUDA 446 pack.
Yeah, Hemi CUDA.
Yeah, Hemi CUDA.
Yeah, I'd love to have a Hemi CUDA.
Same.
Not a new one either, an old one. 4-speed, pistol grip, Hemi, dual quads.
I just want like a 69 one. I don't care what it comes in.
Yeah,
I could have a slant 6 and I'd be happy.
Car.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a YouTube video about some guys who bought a mint 70. It was either 69 or 70 Charger. It was perfect. Like everything was perfect, including the original slant 6. It was a slant 6 Charger.
That's cool.
And they pulled the slant 6 out to stuff a Hemi down in, which I understand.
I was about to say, I don't blame them.
I understand, but man, losing that original slant 6 mint Survivor, oh, that hurt my nerves, man.
I mean, if it's a low mileage example, I would have just kept the slant 6 in it.
Yeah, just keep, or at least keep the engine around so you can put it back factory if you want.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, one day.
Probably never come.
Probably never come. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with the Ram eventually.
What's that?
Either get that engine completely redone or get something big for it.
So you think you might put a like a modern Hemi in it, or an old Hemi?
Neither.
Neither. Like a new 360 maybe?
Yeah, like a bored out 360.
Yeah.
They make a 408 stroker that you can pretty much bolt right in. The only thing that I'm having a problem with is it's a carbureted engine.
Yep.
So I'd have to figure out what I wanted to do with that. If I want to either transfer it to carbureted, or if I'm going to do like an EFI conversion on the engine.
Put like a Holly Sniper on it or something.
But at that point, I'm going to lose my gauges and everything.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is.
I wonder if we could keep the current fuel injection, if there's like updates we could do to it to
I
get
don't
the
really
throttle
know.
body
I mean,
to support that much horsepower.
it's such a rudimentary version of fuel injection. Because it was like the second or third year they did it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. We'll have to see when the time comes. I got body work to do before I can think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of body work to do on the Ram.
Not really body work necessarily. It's just, well, it's body work.
It is body work, but it's not bad. We got a few panels to replace. There was a
Not really.
we got to replace the bumper and the grill
Yeah.
and the radiator.
I mean, the
and-
body itself is fine though.
Yeah, the body itself is fine. Woo, got some bumps going on.
I was about to say, a couple of years back we fixed all those dents and junk.
Yeah, just the paint we put on it was trash.
Horrible.
Yep. So it looks like a hot mess right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get all that surface rust clashed out, put some
Yep.
new primer on it, and just go to town. I found a website online that sells the 1-to-1 brilliant blue pearl.
yeah, is that what you want to put on it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to factory paint.
I don't blame you.
I think that paint looked better than the one I put on it anyways.
Yeah, it did. I'm going to use my small compressor, my LVLP spray gun, or are you going to pay someone to do it?
To be determined.
If we can get the paint cheap enough, might be all right to do it ourselves. I don't want
but
to
at the
ruin a
same
couple
time-
$1,000s worth of paint.
Yep. I don't want to ruin a couple $1,000s worth of paint and hundreds of hours of body work.
Again.
But yeah, for a second time.
Yep.
I'm Chattanooga right now.
An old school Valiant.
Yeah, it's got a slant 6 in it though.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with this Slant 6.
It's nice.
How much is it?
$6,500.
A little much for a Slant.
Yeah, I was thinking more on like closer to 4.
4,000. Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean,
Everything from back.
you don't have to buy $2,000 worth of body work
That's
or
true.
body panels.
Yeah, that one's pretty clean.
It's worth it. Could be worth it anyway.
Potentially.
Potentially.
No, I'd probably just save up more and get
Yep.
something else. But
Yeah, I don't blame you. There's a lot of old cars out there.
yep.
So we gotta, hopefully, I don't know, what do you think? Over the winter, we'll start working on the Ram?
Yeah. I mean, that would work with me. Starting like October, November-ish.
Yeah. His latest, your latest buy is a Jeep.
Yeah, it is.
Tell him about this Jeep, Jacob.
Alright, so
Listen up to this, guys. Y'all gonna look. Listen to what this young man found, because this story's crazy.
alright. So pretty much the story arises from me wanting to get rid of my car. You probably saw it in some of Dad's videos in the background. It was that blue Focus ST. It was tuned to the moon. It made like 300 something horsepower, 380 pound-feet of torque. But insurance on it for me was ridiculous. It was like almost $300 a month. So I was like, okay, I got to get rid of this thing as soon as possible. So I started looking around and I was like, I'm just going to get a more normal car for my next vehicle. So I ended up going with a Jeep. But yeah, I had the red Jeep that we traveled to South Carolina on an 8-hour journey for.
Yep, video here.
Yep. It was fun. It was really cool. It made me realize that I like those vehicles. So I said I'm going to look for me one. So I just start casually looking. And with the way the market is right now for Jeeps in Tennessee, anything of decent value is in the higher 20s. There's nothing really low mileage under $20,000 unless you wanted to get a pre-Pentastar motor.
Yeah, like the TJs or something like that.
No, the JK had a 3.8 liter non-Pentastar V6 that had some problems. It had some really bad electrical issues. as well as some like engine malfunction. I don't remember specifically, but I knew I didn't want it. So I just started casually looking, and I go to one of our local dealerships websites, and they say that they have a 2012 Wrangler 2-door 6-speed for sale, and I look down at the mileage and it says 12,600 miles.
It's 2024, y'all.
Yeah.
12,000, how many?
600 miles.
12,600 miles.
And I went, oh, what? So I wasn't like really ready to buy anything at the moment because I still have my TJ, and I wasn't like really wanting to sell it. I was going to just save my money and have the TJ and have the other Jeep and just make the TJ like a really good rock crawler. But I messaged the local dealership, and they're like, yeah, it's for real. It really has 12,000 miles. And so I just found a way to make it work. I sold my TJ in a day.
One day.
Yeah. It wasn't even really a day. It was sold that night. They just came back with the money. But yeah, I was able to get that Jeep, and it was pretty awesome.
We're going to cut over to some B-roll while he's talking about it, because this thing is fantastic. It's got a lift kit on it, 35-inch tires. What else is it?
Let's see. I don't remember the brands of bumpers off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, it's a big old beefy off-road bumper.
Yeah. It's got a Rusty's 4-inch lift.
Rusty's 4-inch lift.
Yep, 4-inch lift. It has, I forgot what kind of shocks it had on it, honestly.
It was Rusty's.
Was it Rusty shocks?
Yep, Rusty shocks.
Rusty shocks. It has that light bar on it. I can't remember the name of the light bar immediately off the top of my head. I'm not super familiar with off-road brands yet, but
they said it was like a $1,900 bar.
yeah, I looked it up. It was like $2,200, $1,900, somewhere
for the
along
light
those
bar.
lines.
It's bright.
It is very bright. Turn it on and the sun's there.
Yep.
But yeah, there's that. And
what kind of tires did it have on it when you bought
it
it?
had Nitto Ridge Grapplers, or was it was Nitto Range Grapplers.
Range Grapplers. And that's what was on when we got it, but they were starting to dry rot.
Yeah, they were starting to dry rot, and I said, I've owned this Jeep for a week, I'm taking it to Florida.
Yep.
So we went
immediately,
and got
did
new tires.
600 miles. Yeah. So his Jeep cost him a little bit of money in tires, but got those on, and they run really good on his Jeep. So that was one of the reasons that I went with Nitto's on Silva too. I went ahead and wanted to upgrade to LT tires, and I usually get talked into all-terrains from our local tire dealer, and so that's how Silva ended up with Nitto's, because Jake's Nitto's on his Jeep just ride so good. So Silva's got Nitto LT load range ease on it now. way more tire than the truck needs, but I wanted a stiff sidewall tire, and plus they look pretty cool.
They do look good.
Yeah, I think they make old Silva look pretty good, and I'm pretty happy. But your Jeep, man, it's nice, air conditioned.
Yep.
It's got the little flip back soft top that you can open like a mini
the
sunroof.
Sunrider.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sunrider.
Sunrider. It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I really have no complaints with it at all.
That's awesome.
I wish I could just tow with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't really do any towing with it, so that's what I need to get.
It's got a winch on it?
Yeah, it's got a winch on it. It's like a $2,000 winch too, or
Is it really?
$1,500 winch. Yeah.
Big, expensive winch. Very nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
But as far as like Silva's concerned, I'm not sure what my next. I want to do some mods to it, like real good mods that aren't going to make it tow worse. I want to make it tow better, or just make it nicer. And so I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I think I'm going to start looking at some aftermarket wheels, potentially, or some nicer Chevy wheel takeoffs. But I really want a dark pair of wheels.
Like gunmetal or black?
I think I'm going to go with black, like maybe
Black?
some XDs, or I think there's another brand called Fuel.
Yep, fuel. I have XDs on mine.
Yeah. Just got to make sure they have the weight rating to carry my truck.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not good if you lose a tire.
No.
Your wheel breaks while you're towing.
Yeah, that would be no bueno.
Jonathan was looking up the fuel wheels, and I hadn't verified it, but what he was saying was they all had a weight rating around 2,500 pounds each. That's not enough. I want more capacity than that. Of course, Silva's a half-ton truck, so that'd probably be enough to cover, you know, the heaviest this truck would ever be.
What do you need per wheel?
I'd really like to have 3,500 pounds per wheel. Like way more capacity than I would ever need. I like it to be strong. I'd really like to get out and put a couple 100 miles on these wheels. I need to put about 500 on these tires before I go pull it to Florida.
Yeah. When are y'all pulling to Florida?
July, the last week of July. That's the week of our anniversary.
I gotcha.
Excuse me.
Well, you got a couple Saturdays.
Yep, got a couple Saturdays. If Mom's feeling better, we may go somewhere Saturday. I'd really like to get to work on our 57, but
Yeah.
I got to get these wheels broke in, these tires broke in. That is a priority. But on Silva, there's some maintenance I got to get done to it. I got to change the plugs, or I want to change the plugs, I should say. Just got a little rough idle sometimes, and so I think that I'd like to pull the plugs out and look at the plugs, and I need to make sure I got the air filter changed. I meant to do that last oil change, but missed doing that because I was too wrapped up in the oil filter debacle.
Yeah.
They changed oil filters on me. PF66 changed. And then, so I'd like to do that. I'd like to change the rear differential fluid because it's got right at 58,000 miles on it now.
Have fun with that.
You ever change rear differential fluid?
Yes.
It's not the hardest thing.
No.
It just stinks.
Yeah. We did it on a Boss TJ.
Yeah.
It was not the most fun thing in the world because there was no space to actually do it.
Yeah, so
we didn't have the right tool to do it either.
I'm gonna build a fluid extractor.
That would be smart. I'll make sure to get some small pipe.
Yep. So that's what I would like to do. Project Farm is another channel I watch, and he shows how to build a really good fluid extractor using quart-sized mason jars, and that's what I'm going to use. Quart-sized mason jars and a vacuum pump.
Yeah.
And you can make your own fluid extractor cheap doing that, and that way you don't have to worry about cleaning your fluid extractor all the time, because you just get different quart jars.
I see.
And
so
if
is it like just a screw on?
Yeah,
And
you
then you just
screw on
put it on the jar?
So what you do is you take a standard mason jar lid, you drill 2 holes in it, and that's where your pipes go. One pipe goes to the vacuum pump, and the other pipe goes to it just goes in there. And so what you do is you drill 2 holes, you put the pipes in, and then you hot glue around the pipes to seal it. And once you do that, you plug in one side to, one hose is I think a little bit smaller than the other one, and that one goes to the vacuum pump, and then the other side is your basically it's your fluid extractor, which is awesome. And so I would imagine you can do the same principle to fill up out of another container.
Just in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, just in reverse.
I'm sure that's how it would work.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that's what I'm going to do for my transmission fluid change too. Use the fluid extractor.
Yeah. Now I will say, the bottles that they do come in are designed to be squeezed.
Oh yeah.
So.
And they got the little tip on the top of them.
So I bet you could just mitigate having to use that to actually like get it in.
Yeah, just put it up and just squeeze it in. I think I make a nice video, just some general maintenance at 60,000 miles.
Yeah, do like a 60,000 mile update.
Yeah, 60,000 miles, and we'll do some preventative maintenance, you know, along the way. Like probably go ahead and change the belt. The belt's got 60,000 miles on it. The dry belt, and then we'll test the brake fluid, and we'll test the radiator fluid to see if those two things need to be changed, even at just a short mileage. But you guys got to understand, we live in Tennessee, and for like 90 days during the summer, it's 90 plus degrees percent humidity. Water gets in our stuff. There's no way around it. And so we would need to change potentially the brake fluid and potentially change the radiator fluid. But I'm not just going to change it. I'm going to test it first.
You could always send off your engine oil too to check up on that.
Yeah, I want to do that. Send a Blackstone sample off. I think I might have to change away from my SuperTech oil because it is a little clattery on startup.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if there's.
Do you think like the viscosity is messing with it, or?
I don't know. It's like all the oil is running off of the valve train or something, and so it's just loud on startup, and so I don't really like it. It's like every time I start the truck, it almost sounds like it does whenever you first change the oil in a vehicle, and you know, you're waiting for the engine oil pressure to rise to normal. It's almost like that every single time I start the truck. And so of course I've been using the SuperTech oil since new. Somebody in the comments recommended Castrol Advanced Protection or something like that. So I may look into that. I just don't understand how like all the oil drips off of the valve train and leaves no lubrication. So it is possible that it's not the valve train.
I was about to say, it could be the nature of the engine.
It could be like every 2.7 that I've heard start on YouTube sounds the exact same. It's just, I don't understand it. And maybe, like I caught it on the video I just took, so that may be at the beginning of this one. It's like all that noise is coming from the top back of the engine, and then it just levels out. And so
that's weird.
I thought, well, maybe that's the turbo, but the turbo's not in the back of the engine. It's on the side of the engine.
Yeah, turbos ain't supposed to sound like that.
No. And so I think that there's probably some guides or something. I've got to get on and look at the parts, you know, the parts diagram of the 2.7 and see what's actually at the back of the engine. There may be like a timing chain back there.
I have no clue.
I don't either.
Figure it out one way or another.
We're just gonna drive it till she blows, man. Drive it till she blows.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a fan of the Nittos. They're starting to wear in.
Yeah. Finally starting to get that feel.
Yeah, they feel good.
Good.
Yesterday they were, you know, of course they're still brand new, but they were just a little skatey, going around curves and stuff. Was yours like that whenever you first got them?
I mean,
a little loose.
I couldn't really tell, to be honest. It's a Jeep.
Yeah. Everything's loose on a Jeep.
Loose. I was
Everything's
about to say,
loose.
body roll everywhere.
You got all the body rolls.
Yeah. Just making up for the no body roll I had in the Focus.
That's true. It has slowed you down a little bit.
I was about to say, I don't drive fast anymore. John's the one that you gotta watch out for.
Yeah, and his nice Camaro. Excuse me. I did shoot some film on his Camaro. I hope I can get that turned into a video.
Yeah. We all changed the radiator.
Yeah, I didn't actually get video of the radiator coming out and all that stuff, but I did just do some talking. There, speaking of the man. They'll probably come and say, "What are y'all doing?"
Yeah. Or not.
Yeah, that Camaro looks good, man.
Yeah, it does. He needs to get where it had those rain guards on it. He really needs to get that like adhesive.
Yeah, he does. I think some gum out or something like that would probably help.
Gum out would work. I was thinking about those rubber decal removers.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that you put on drills.
I heard. Yes, that's what he needs.
I was about to say, I think that would make a good video.
Yeah, the decal remover. Yeah.
They're like $40 at AutoZone. You can get the 3M one.
Let us know. Have you guys had any experience removing the decals with the decal drill attachment remover? Decal remover drill attachment, whatever they call it. Let us know down in the comments what you think. Nice.
I think it would be really effective.
I hope so.
So, we just have to see.
Rain guards on a Camaro look stupid. I just want to say that.
Agreed. That's all we need to just rip them off.
And
Whoever put it on before was not smart with it either, because they didn't measure it for when the glass went up, so it would just smack the glass every time.
That's terrible.
It's horrible. I was like, dude, you need to just get rid of these.
Yeah, just pull them off. Well, they were broke.
Yeah, they were, because they kept hitting the glass.
Yeah. I hate rain guards. I've hated them my whole life. Even whenever I was a kid and I'd see them, I'd be like, bleh.
I ain't about rain guards.
I ain't about no rain guards.
I was about to say, let it hit your glass like a man.
Yeah, let it hit your glass like a man. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little different style of video with me and Jake. Hope y'all have a great day. We'll get some more content going on the Ram and maybe the Jeep, but y'all take care.